Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to my June reading journal setup. I was having some difficulty figuring out a theme again this month, but I knew I wanted something fun and summery to mark the beginning of the new season, so I came across a picture on Pinterest of a title page for an ice cream theme and it just felt right. So that's where the inspiration for this title page and the rest of the spreads come from. So here on the title page, I'm just drawing out the ice cream truck that I saw on Pinterest. It's a super simple but really cute design and I'm obsessed with it. I'm particularly obsessed with the color scheme of this theme as well, which mainly consists of pastel pink, blue, and yellow with some pops of different shades of brown. And then for the title on all the spreads, I did a very simple lowercase font and then I go over it with the pastel colors to kind of highlight them and make the letters pop more. I love how simple it is and I think it matches the theme really well. I really love how this title page turned out. It really captures that fun summery vibe I was going for. Next we have my calendar spread. So for this one I decided to draw ice cream cones along the left hand side and the bottom of the spread around where the boxes for my calendar will be. I really love how the little ice cream doodles turned out, some having 2 or 3 scoops. I just think they are so adorable. Then for the actual calendar I decided to color each box alternating between the pink, blue, and yellow colors I'm using throughout the spreads. In last month's setup I mentioned wanting to do a calendar spread like this and I think this was the perfect theme to do it. This spread is honestly my favorite of the whole month because I love how colorful it is. I definitely want to try and set up my calendar spreads like this more often with the multicolored boxes, so don't be surprised if you see more of this kind of style throughout the rest of the year. So I mainly use my calendar spread to keep track of when I upload videos, but I will also add any album releases or exciting events that are happening. I don't have a lot going on in June, to be honest, but A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston is releasing this month and I'm pretty excited about that, even though I don't think I'll be getting to it for a little while. Also, Gracie Abrams might be releasing a new album. Is that this month or is that next month? I can't remember. I also then just wrote the days of the week at the top of the calendar and then numbered each of the days in the corner of each box. And then for the ice cream cones, I used a light brown to color in the cones and then I go back through with a slightly darker shade of brown to fill in the lines and add some dimension. Then I randomly color in the ice cream scoops with pink, blue, yellow, and dark brown, and then I finished the spread off by coloring over the title at the top of the spread. Like I said, I really love how this spread turned out. It's one of my favorites for the month, but also one of my favorite calendar spreads for the whole year thus far. Then, as always, we have my days read and days written spread where I obviously track which days I read and write throughout the month. Practicality-wise, this is always my favorite and most used spread every month. I absolutely love being able to track my reading and writing throughout the month and being able to look back at previous months to see how much I was reading and writing. So I'm just drawing out each little box for the 30 days in June on each page. This is always one of the most satisfying things to watch back once it's all sped up like this. Then I number them all from 1 to 30 for each day of the month. Then at the bottom of the spread I drew more of those ice cream doodles to fill up the empty space. Normally I have a lot of trouble figuring out what to do at the bottom of the spread, and at first I did struggle a bit to figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to bring back the ice cream truck from the title page and incorporate that somehow, or if I wanted to keep it a bit more simple. Obviously I ended up just going with ice cream doodles, which I'm really happy with. Themes like this where I just repeatedly draw the same few doodles make setting up the spread in particular a lot easier, so I always end up really enjoying themes like this. Overall, I really like how this spread turned out. I really do love the color palette I chose for this theme, and I think it all works really well together. I have a lot of reading and writing plans this month, which we'll get to in a bit, so I'm really looking forward to utilizing this spread a lot throughout the month. I think I'm going to fill in the little squares with the pastel blue color since it was probably my least used color throughout these spreads. I'd love to bring it in a little bit more. Then we have my TBR or to be read spread. I decided on a full spread for my TBR this month for a couple of reasons. One being that I just have a lot of books I want to get to in June, and two, because I wanted to incorporate another Dutch door, and it's just a bit easier to do if I have a full spread for my TBR. So I started out with drawing the ice cream doodles on the side of the spread, then I write to be read along the top of the spread spanning the 2 pages. As you can see, I have a lot of books I want to get to this month. Summer starts in June, so I'm mainly focusing on some more summery books, but I also have some books from my spring TBR that I would still really like to get through before the season officially ends. So some of the books on my TBR I'm really looking forward to. The Besties and Books book pick for June, which is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Santanto. I've been wanting to read this book for years, so I'm really glad we chose it for June. I hope you'll join in on reading this book with us and discussing it in a live show next month. I'm also looking forward to King of Scars and Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. Then I also have some LGBTQ books for Pride Month, like Ashford Parker Doesn't Fail and Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, both by Ashley Herring Blake. My Arc of This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings, which I'm so excited to get to. I've been dying to read that. And also You Don't Have a Shot by Raquel Marie. So I cut off the end of the page to create a Dutch door, as you guys saw, and I rounded the corners, which I really like because it fits in a lot better since the pages themselves are rounded on the edges. And then I just continued with the ice cream doodles that are on the next spread, same as they are on the other side. And then just add a bit more visual interest on the sides, I drew in some squiggles behind the ice cream cones in the core colors of pink, blue, and yellow. Then we have my to watch spread. I haven't had one of these in a few months, but it helped make my Dutch door work out a bit better this month. Plus, I wanted to hold myself accountable to finally watching Bridgerton. It's obviously a show that's been on my radar since it first came out, but with all the talk of the new season recently, I've been more intrigued to finally start watching it. So the plan is to watch all the episodes that are currently out in time to watch part 2 of season 3 that is dropping later this month. So to set up this spread, I just divided the show into its 3 seasons and set up little boxes for each episode that I can color in as I watch it. Around the episode boxes, I drew rectangles and colored them in just like how I did with the squares in my calendar spread. Then we have my monthly favorite spread. All I'm doing here is drawing out the boxes where I will write my favorite things throughout the month. As always, I love discussing some favorites from the previous month while I set up this spread. So for books, one of my favorites was definitely Funny Story by Emily Henry. I also really loved my reread of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom that I have a vlog for up on my channel that you guys can go check out. And I loved Stay With My Heart by Tasha Bouillon as well. As for movies and shows, I enjoyed Maxton Hall on Amazon Prime and A Broken Hearts Gallery on Netflix. And as for music, I was still mainly listening to the Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift, so most of my favorites were from that album. Then we have my books read spread. I kept this page pretty simple with just drawing out the ice cream doodles along the bottom, making sure to keep lots of space to write out the books I read throughout the month. I also just went ahead and continued the doodles onto the next page, which is my writing goals spread. Looking back on it and the size of my TBR, I maybe could have used a full 2-page spread for this one this month, but hopefully I'll still be able to fit in all the books I read. Then we have my writing goals spread on the other page here. My main goals for the month are to finish draft 4 of my YA novel, What You Mean to Me. I started it in May and completed Act 1, so in June I'd like to brainstorm the revisions for the rest of the book, write a chapter breakdown of those revisions, and then complete the draft. My writing goals for May went really well. I completed all my goals and also filmed some writing vlogs that I'm really happy with. One is already uploaded and another one is coming in a couple of days, so look out for that. And then lastly, we have my revision tracker for my book. I did the same spread last month, drawing out boxes for each chapter in my book numbered 1 through 58. I completed 12 chapters, which made up Act 1 in my book, so for this month I started the numbering in the boxes at 13. So we have another satisfying time lapse of setting up those little boxes. Hopefully I will actually be able to complete the new draft this month so I can color in all these boxes, because I had a lot of fun using this spread last month. Then I just filled up all the extra space at the bottom with ice cream doodles, which I think are so cute, and I colored them the same way I did throughout the rest of the spreads. At the top, I wrote out the acronym for my book, which is WIMTIM, and wrote draft 4 beneath it in my normal handwriting. I am really excited to use this spread this month. I had a lot of fun using it last month, and it was really motivating when I was doing the revisions. It was such like a little rewarding thing to be able to color in one of the little boxes after completing a chapter, and it really kept me on track and also helped me see how much work I was actually doing, because sometimes it is hard to track progress with revisions. I then tried to label each box with a CH for chapter with a pink gel pen, but the ink ran out on me pretty quickly, so I had to continue with a regular pink pen and go over the ones I'd already written so they would match a bit better. But that brings us to the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed this month's reading journal setup. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, as well as what theme you chose for your reading or bullet journal for June. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!